to the one show with a very croaky Alex Jones.
It's happened in the last hour. I'm not last week.
You honestly think you're going to get through the show?
I don't know. We'll see.
We will. Let's get on with it. Tonight's guest is a star of stage and screen who is so convincing and unrecognisable that in his latest musical, right, some people argued profusely with the theatre that the person that they'd come to see wasn't actually in the show.
But can you work out who he is? Now then, Walsh opera boy, Bryn Terfel? No, it's not him.
Flame-haired crooner, Mick Hucknall.
Comedian Ricky Gervais? No. It's everyone's favourite musical star. It is, of course, Michael Ball.
How are you guys?
Oh, it's nice to have you back.
Don't give me whatever you've got. Really, no kissing as an I am.
We should maybe swap seats.
Well, I did give him a little hug earlier on, and then I thought, oh, Saturday coming.
Away.
But no, Mike, I mean, praise indeed that your biggest fans came to see you and didn't actually realise.
Seriously, yes. And it's not one of those sort of hyped up things. They honestly were arguing about whether, in fact, arguing still, is it me in the poster for the...
Well, I drove past and I did a double take. I was telling Matt earlier, I thought, is that Michael? You look good.
It is a world away from what I've ever looked like before, so...
We'll talk more about that later on. And in honour of Michael's new role in Sweeney Todd, we thought we'd see if any of you at home had a run-in with a demon barber.
Yes, send us your worst haircut. We're looking for things a little bit like this.
Oh, you know!
Hey! Brilliant. And we're going to show our at the end of the show. Mind you, that's going to take some topping.
That's phenomenal, isn't it?
You can have that one.
I'm having that back.
Those were the days, eh, Michael?
Anyway, across Britain...
Separated at birth.
Across Britain, our high streets are in trouble, with some town centres seeing 1 in 3 shops standing empty.
But against all odds, one type of business is bucking the downward trend Simon Bozeman has been to investigate.
Well, it's just gone 8 a.m. and most people are on the way to work, and while you'd struggle to find a bank or a shop that's open, one thing you can do is put a bet on.
Betting shop they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, there were over 15,000 bookmakers in the late 60s, and now there's about half that. But it's not how many there are, it's where they are. I mean, Harriet Harman did a report last year that found the high streets in low-income areas were being blighted by bookmakers now. And anecdotally, one of the reasons that may be is bookmakers may have always been in these low-income areas, but as retail space becomes available on the high street because other shops closing, they're moving in and becoming more obvious.
Right.
And to give you a sort of sense of scale, Harriet Harman's own constituency in Camberwell and Peckham has over 70 bookmakers. And if you compare somewhere like the borough of Newham, which is a low-income area, with Richmond upon Thames, Newham will have 3 times as many bookmakers as Richmond upon Thames. So it's not how many, it's where.
It's where they are, yeah.
Now, about a year ago, Mary Portas delivered her findings of the high street. It was last year sometime, wasn't it? Has anything happened then?
Yeah, actually, her report finally went to government in December last year, and they're going to announce their response to that in the spring. But one thing that has been announced already from her review by the Department for Communities and Local Government is a thing called the Portas Pilot Scheme. It's a great name, but it's a competition for local areas that have an ailing high street to compete for a £1 million fund to reinvent their high streets, to rejuvenate them, turn them around. So they've got to make a video of how they're going to do that, send it in to their local council. Winners will be announced in May, but you've got to get them in quick because the competition's closed.
It's not a bad idea, because that's going to get community spirits together, isn't it? Everyone's going to get together.
But will
Think,
they
come on, let's
split
get
the
this
million
video
between the 12 then?
Yeah, they get all 12 winning town centres will get to split the million. So it's not a great deal of money. So people are going to have to be a bit inventive. It can't just be about, building something. It's about finding a good way of turning things around.
Thank you so much, Simon. Lovely to see you.
Lovely.
Now then, Michael, you were used to breaking into song at a drop of a hat, aren't you? Oh, yeah, go on.
A gentle breeze from Hushabye Mountain softly blows all lullaby bay. There we are. Now, the reason we're singing that is that Robert Sherman passed away yesterday, the writer of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. We've both done the musical, Mary Poppins, Jungle Book and all sorts.
Oh, that was a lovely tribute to him. Anyway, here's Cary Grant with another look at historic songs from the workplace.
The coal mines of Britain he loves, but desperate to return. How important was singing when you were working?
We used to sing on the train when we were going down into the workings.
Okay.
We'd all sing together. But the bath time was the song. That was it.
Bath time.
Getting bathed.
That's where all the young lads used to sing, in showers.
With the work going down and there being hardly any minds left now, what do you think will happen with the songs?
Whilst ever there's people around who have any recollection of that era, the songs will survive. I'd like to think they'd go on after that, but who knows?
Even though the coal mines of Yorkshire have all but disappeared, I get the feeling from everyone that the industry was about more than just work, and that perhaps music now helps to keep that mining spirit alive. Wow, that has really touched me, thank you.
Oh, wow. It wasn't just Carrie who was taken by that. Mike,
No,
obviously,
absolutely.
have a strong
Listening to those songs, and my grandfather was a coal miner. My uncle Tom worked in the colliery. They're all members of choirs. I'm a member of the Mountain Ash rugby football male voice choir, and there's nothing like it.
Oh, you can't beat a male voice choir?
You know, exactly.
No.
That's where the voice comes from the Welsh side of the family.
Yeah. Well, speaking of voices, your role in Sweeney Todd's a bit different to the last time you were on talking about Edna Turmill and
Yeah, there you are.
there.
But I mean, you are incredibly versatile.
I thought you said something was incredibly attractive in that picture.
But it's a dark one you're playing now.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that appealed to me about it, I've always wanted to play Sweeney, but the idea of having left the West End as an overweight mother of one in Baltimore and coming back as a serial killer, it was kind of appealing.
Yeah.
And being able to transform myself and perform even sometimes extraordinary music.
Yeah.
It's been a lifetime's ambition.
And as you said, you're bringing the show to the West End, but you started in Chichester. We have a little clip that we can... Yeah, let's have a look at this first.
Pretty women are a wonder. Pretty women sitting in the window or standing on the stand.
It's weird. Yeah. When I went to a hairdresser's and an old-fashioned barber's to sit and learn how to do the cutthroat razor, and they did it on me, and it is quite nervous.
Is that how you keep your face from now?
Yeah. No, I don't. But that whole thing of using the cutthroat razor and having someone do it for you, and you are in their hands when it's around there. It does make you think.
Yeah.
So was this your idea then to bring
Yes,
this back?
it was. I saw it about 6 years ago on Broadway in a small actor-musician incarnation. And I'd known the music, but I'd never seen the show before, and I just thought I would desperately love to play the part, but to do it on a big scale. We've got a cast of 30, we've got an orchestra of 16, and at the Adelphi Theatre, which is this big stage, great big production. And we're in technical rehearsal at the moment. I've driven here, and I'll be driving back to work through the night to get it ready for Saturday.
Indeed, the cast is key. And were you waiting for Imelda Stillman?
Yeah, Imelda came to do my radio show, and I had this idea ticking around in my head. I really couldn't think of a more perfect person to play opposite me, and I asked her on the radio, and that was 3 years ago. And she said yes, she would.
And that said you helped
I said, I've got it recorded. There'll be a lawsuit if you don't turn on the night.
So that starts on Saturday.
She's got me back. She's broken my rib.
Wait, she's broken your rib?
Seriously. She thought she was we were recording the album last Saturday, and I hurt my back doing the big number, and she said, "Oh, lie down here." Lay down. She climbed on top with her knees, and she's only a little thing, to try and click it back in. And she popped my rib.
Oh, well, listen,
So that's not painful.
We had some grand plans for another item.
We did, for a bouncy ball. We'll tell you all
We'll tell you about it later on, but anyway. Sweeney Todd opens at the Adelphi Theatre in London on Saturday.
Yes. Now, yesterday we found out on the show that you shouldn't hug a swan, right? Today's wildlife fact is that 80% of all the animal species in the world are insects.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Well, it's all good news, especially for our bookman George McGavin, who tonight is looking at how grasshoppers spring into action. Cheers, George. That was just magical. I'd love to see how that works. Anyway, Mike is here because George is a bit jet-lagged because he's back from a South American bug trip. So we'll hope you're all right, George. Apparently he's caught a travel bug. Hey! Terrible. Anyway, Mike, you are here with some phenomenal footage, aren't you, that can actually match George's there.
More than, Matt, actually. 20 times for a grasshopper. Imagine a human flea 200 times their own body length. With this high-speed footage, scientists have only just worked out how they do it. This is footage shot from Cambridge University last year. And when they slowed it down, they realised, and effectively, instead of muscles, what they have is coiled springs in their legs. And via this lever system, what they do is they just dig these spines in on the legs and then dig those in and then suddenly release those coiled springs, which causes them to fire for 200 times in their own plane. If you think that's funny, have a look at the next one. This is a bombardier beetle. Now, when it wants to kind of basically get rid of all its pests, like these ants that are bothering it...
Oh, God!
Look at that noxious fluid. And what's happening in the abdomen is... You've got two of these chemicals, they come together, they create this instantaneous hot boiling reaction. Wait till you hear it. And then it fires the chemical out of its bottom, at best.
Not so funny for the ants, Michael. Think about the ants, for goodness sake.
And they can control exactly where it sprays it. It's absolutely disgusting and incredibly effective.
We've got time for 30 seconds of bees.
Just bumblebees to finish off. Once again, slow motion footage. Scientists basically don't know how bumblebees fly, but when they slow it down, they've worked out they flap their wings 230 times in 1 second. And also as well, when they fly in a figure of 8, it enables them to press down twice as much. And look at them flying, Michael, through this amazing vortex of smoke. And you can see those little vortexes it's creating, which enable it to lift up. Isn't that brilliant?
It's beautiful.
I know what you liked the most, though, didn't you?
Yeah, that was really
The bombardier beetle.
You like the beetle?
That was brilliant.
I've never seen anything like
And
that.
then recent figures have shown that an alarming number of adults only have the maths levels of an 11-year-old.
Yeah, you've still gone, haven't you?
Well,
You've cracked up
I
completely.
didn't see
Now,
that footage.
earlier on, we put you to that test, didn't we, that little maths test?
Yeah, how did I do?
Right, well, before you find out,
I took
we
it
sent...
seriously.
Yeah, good, did good, that's the idea. Well, we sent Anita Rani to see if one class of kids were better at maths than their mums and dads.
10. So we've got 5 and 5. 4 and
There's no doubting the enthusiasm for maths in this classroom, but outside the school gates, it's a very different story. Nearly half of all adults...
Right, well, it's the moment of truth.
We have your results. Are we ready? Michael Ball, you've scored 7 out of 10, meaning you're not quite smart as an 11-year-old.
You're not smarter than an 11-year-old, but you did do it when you were that age, so that's very much.
You've got a great
Now,
voice.
thanks ever so much for all the photos that you've been sending in of bizarre haircuts. Let's start with you.
That poor old Paul Ferris in the 70s. Looks a bit like me, actually.
Oh, that's
Magic.
photo of Yanis here from East Sussex. Now that is a page boy style. I had one just like it. Terrible.
What about Jeff Pearson's do?
Nice.
West Midlands, it looks a bit Simon Groomy, if you ask me. There we are.
Got another one there.
We have that one there. This is from Sylvia Beaumont. It's got Michael Ball in the
Oh,
80s
you look handsome.
when he was in Aspects of Love.
Thanks so much, Michael.
Pleasure,
Sweeney
lovely.
Todd will open at the Adelphi Theatre this Saturday.
Yeah, all the very best with it. On tomorrow's show, we've got another musical man, Brian Conley. He filled yours for that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway,
See you at 7, hopefully.
all the best. See you then. Yes.